Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Good morning to every Miami Dolphin fan out there that happens to be in the room right now. The Dolphins are already starting their practices over in Germany. Mike McDaniel spoke with the media today, so there's some news coming out on the Miami Dolphins. So that's always good. And a lot of the news is of the good variety on the injury front, on people's possible return to the team. Some windows have been opened, so that is good to hear. Doesn't mean that the window that was open this week, well, he will play this week, but he is practicing, and that window, you probably guess, is a big window. It would take a big window to get through as a big man that's coming back to the team. Teron Armstead's window has been open per Mike McDaniel's press conference over in Germany today. I was going to say this morning, but our time, it was this morning. And he had his press conference and he said that. Other news that was touched at the press conference outside of Armstead coming back was Javon Holland is outside of concussion protocol. He's cleared it. So that is good on that front. Look, another good news seems like Connor Williams and Xavier Howard are looking kind of favorable. He didn't go as far as saying they will play, but saying that it's trending that way, kind of how you hear. So that is good. The one bad news is Brandon Jones did not fly with the team to Germany. He's being treated back in South Florida. He said that could change and he could always get a flight later over if the need arises. But right now, they thought the best deal for him would to be get treatment here in the Miami area. Good morning, Lewis Jones. A big fins up to you, and Crazy Dolphin. Big fins up to you. So you guys all rock for coming in here, and thank you so much. So to me, getting Teron Armstead back is vital. Hopefully he plays this week, but if everything goes according to plan, he might not play this week. It's how they normally do these 21-day windows, because like Ramsey didn't come back the first week, his window was open. Same with Needham. So we shall see on that front on coming back. And Jeff Wilson got back like 1 week after his window was open. So just because his window open doesn't mean he's going to play this week. They tend to tread on the side of caution and not rushing guys back. So we will see on that front. But at least it's good to know that Armstead's coming back in the near future. After this week, I would hope to see Devon Achane get his window open. That would be good. Yes, he did towards the end of that game when he could have had the interception, but that guy popped him. It was an okay hit. It was a clean hit. It was just football. Kind of got the dog. I was at that game. Almost started like a little fight because the guy just kind of stood over him, like he had just knocked out the champ or something. So some Dolphins took offense to that. And, but it was calmer heads prevailed and they just kind of had a little scuffle and then it ended. But hopefully because he's battled back, man, from his injury, he's battled back so hard to get back to play. And then he goes and he gets injured on that play. So hopefully he's okay, but he is stayed here in South Florida to be treated for, by the doctors here. They figured it'd be better to keep him here. But other than that, all the other injury news was good. Like the window opening on Armstead, very big news. Connor Williams probably returning to action, very big news. Now the left, Robert Hunt is day to day. He did travel with the team. He is not going to practice today or didn't practice today over there. Probably already the time when I saw Mike McDaniel's press conference, and I forget about the time difference. But He was not going to practice or did not practice today, Robert Hunt. But hopefully they say he's day to day, so that's not as bad as like week to week. So day to day means maybe he could play as the week progresses if he gets better. We don't know. We shall see on that front. And so those are good things. The Dolphins have already been in Germany since Monday. The Chiefs are not going to be there until tomorrow. The Chiefs are arriving in Germany tomorrow. So we will kind of see how the difference in travel plays out. I mean, it's probably at the end of the day, it's going to be the best team going to win. You know, it's going to be how it rolls out, but it should be good on that front to get a lot of these guys back. But it's just funny to see how the two teams took the different approach. I kind of like the way the Dolphins did it because teams like that routine. So they flew over on Monday. Players had their off day on Tuesday. That way they can go and enjoy some of Germany and then get to work today, get into the routine of playing, getting ready to play football, have their Wednesday practice, Thursday practice, Friday walkthrough, and bingo, bango, you're going to be ready to go. And I like that. I like that approach. Yes, Butch Berry. I hope you're right, Crazy Dolphin, that Butch Berry will have that O line rocking and rolling. He's done a good job. I know my co-host Steve Malloy on the Fins Talk Sports Network and also here on Dolphins Thirsty. He doesn't want to give kudos to Butch Berry quite yet because he feels like it's more the scheme and all of that good stuff. There you go. Good morning again, Scotty. He was over there watching Miss Fins, guys. And if you've never seen Miss Fins, please check her out. She's on every weekday morning. She does a night show tonight. Great content. Miss Fins, Miss Fins, Phins. Great show, great lady, great person. Always a good watch over there. And Scotty would tell you they had a fun debate over there on what's defined as a must win. So Lewis and Crazy Dolphin, I would like to see what your definition of a must-win game is. I would tell you what mine is an elimination game. So this game is not a must-win, but then it's like Scotty kind of pointed out, it's really how you look at it. Is it must-win from beating the narrative that we can't beat a good team? Yeah, then kind of it's a must-win if that's what your goal is to get rid of that narrative, then it's a must-win. But to me, it's really and like coaches you always hear, and I follow baseball, and they never say must win until it's a must win. Like, oh, if you lose tonight and the magic number's gone and you're out, you're not in the playoff. And same in football. So really, to me, a must win is an elimination game, and of course, all playoff games are a must win. In football, and because in other sports they have a best of seven or whatever, but in football, it's a must win every playoff game and it's a must win. Like if you lose this game, you're out of contention, no mathematical chance to make the playoffs. So that's when it's really now from a fan standpoint, all the games, and I'm sure coaches approach every game as a must win that they want to win, but they would never give that message to the team. So that's my definition of must win. In the elimination game, but there are variables among it that you can kind of define how you want. Like if you want the number one seed, if you want, but even then, it's this game a must win. You can still win the number one seed without beating the Kansas City Chiefs. It makes it a harder path beating the Kansas City Chiefs. If your ultimate goal is to be the number one seed at the end of the year, which every team should be striving for, of course, then yes, that's a big step. But to me, a must win is an elimination game. Yeah, but it's a good debate. They had a funny time over there in Miss Fins. They had Kohler and her going at it. Kohler was saying it's not. I almost hate to agree with Kohler, Mr. Kohler, if you ever dropped in here. He's a great guy, but Miss Fins is super duper too. So, but yes, I would have to say Kohler was right in the fact that mathematically it's not a must win. But Miss Fins was kind of right in the fact that if you want to get rid of that narrative and you want that number one seed, this is a very important, close to must win. So I agree with both of them on that one. Hello, Mr. Court Wright. You are always, oh, wow, man. Thank you, Mr. Courtwright, for catching us early. Oh, my goodness. So, Mr. Courtwright, what time are you going to have to wake up to watch the Dolphin game on you're gonna have to wake up what at 6:30, and you're gonna have to be watching the game at like 6:30 in the morning over there. I guess that's crazy. That's crazy, Mr. Courtwright. Fins up, Steve. Fins up. I just dropped your name a minute ago. So fins up, talking about the real talk. Fins talk. Steve Malloy, who was just dressed as a disco guy last night for the Halloween show. If you guys want to go check him out in a wig and a disco shirt. It's real talk, Fins talk. It's to get a laugh. If we want the number one seed, this is a must win. I won't. Yes, Scotty. That's what I was saying. That's why it's all really definition of what must win is in people's book. But I know, like, McDaniel is not telling his team this is a must win. So that's what I'm saying. So for fans, yes, if you want this as the number one, I agree. But it's like must win. But yes, I agree with you how you worded that, Scotty. If we want the number one seed, this is a must win. I won't stray from that. Yes, but it's a must. It's not a must win. Like if you still want to do well and have a good season and go on and win some playoff games, you can still do that. But yes, if you want the number one seed, this is very close. I won't say a must win because Kohler did bring up some good examples. Teams lose to teams that you're not expecting, and that could happen to us too, of course. So we have to factor that in because he was bringing that up. Oh, Kansas City could lose some games we didn't expect, like the Broncos he brought up. But then you could throw it at us and we could lose some games that we're not expecting. So it goes both ways. So as far as the number one seed, Scotty, I would say that's it. I would say you said that well. So thank you, Scotty, for clarifying that. And let's see, we need this. We need this win. Casey would be in the playoffs and win versus him guarantees use home. Yeah, no, yes. Oh, of course, that is McDaniel's saying. I say that all the time to people. McDaniel has a few sayings, and that one, McDaniel always says every day is the most important day, meaning today is the most important day because yesterday you can't control. I mean, it's already gone. Tomorrow's not here, and you're not promised tomorrow. So today is the most important day. That's some deep thinking by Mike McDaniel, but it rings true. And what he also, says though a lot that I use too is don't worry about the things you can't control. But as fans, man, I always think McDaniel always says he doesn't worry about the things he can't control. I was thinking, man, if fans lived by that, none of us would even care about watching sports. We would have no passion because none of us can control it. But he also says that. So, every day is important. Don't worry about the things you can't control. And, those are his to go for all the time. So we will see. But hey, Ray Finko, good morning to all of you guys. But yeah, Scotty, you said it. Actually, Scotty, you said a couple good points. McDaniel does say that all the time. Every day is the most important day. So today is the most important day for all of us because tomorrow's not here yet and yesterday's gone. So today is the most important day. So that is true. So if you use that philosophy on that day, then every game day is the most important day for that team. And it goes both ways, of course, for both teams. But I agree, Scotty, again, once again, and then we get over it. I know Miss Fins and Kohler pounded this into submission probably this morning about the debate about what's a must win. But my true definition of must win is an elimination. Like when you lose, that's it. You're no longer in playoff contention, or you're in the playoffs and you lose the game, obviously, in football, and you're eliminated. So that's the true definition of an elimination game. But then when you get into the deeper thought, like Scotty does about seeding and positioning in the playoffs, also from the mental standpoint of knowing that you can beat a good team, then there's no really definition of a must-win game. Just win every game, like the 1972 Miami Dolphins. They handled every game like a must-win. So that was good. I'm looking for a time machine hot tub. I prefer a DeLorean. You can go in the hot tub, and I'm gonna go in the DeLorean. That's a little older school, but I like the DeLorean travel method better. It's a cool, slick look. So you go in the hot tub, Mr. Courtwright, and I will hop in the DeLorean, and we can check things out. But make sure we get back in time to watch it live again. Let's see. Yeah, that was good. Back to the Future. Yeah. But yeah, the good news is, I know I just kind of got caught up in that must win and all of that stuff. But like I said, McDaniel spoke. If you guys haven't seen it, you can go see him. He spoke for about 16 minutes this morning over. I keep on saying this morning, but their time is probably not morning. Our time it's morning. He spoke for about 16 minutes, covered a lot of good topics, and it was a lot of good stuff there. And hopefully we get people back sooner than later. And that's where he talked kind of about the trade stuff because they asked him about, like the trades, not making any moves. And he said, well, we're getting back to where we didn't have to give up assets. We're getting quality players back and we're starting to play good football. We're getting good players back healthy. And that's kind of how they looked at it. And as far as that, it would have been, of course, a lot more fun here today talking about some big trade that the Dolphins made yesterday because it's always good to talk about Dolphins news. But in reality, if you looked at it, it was very highly unlikely the Dolphins were going to do any kind of major move. They only have about $3 million in cap space. It would require probably reworking contracts. The Dolphins also are rumored to have said that people with sources. I'm not one of those people. I just read people with sources like Barry Jackson's, David Funona's, and one other person. Three people were all on the same page the other day saying that they're hearing people from the organization saying they want to hold on to their draft picks this year because they know the salary cap is going to be tight next year, and draft picks are the cheapest way to supplement talent at an affordable price if they have to move on from some veterans. So they really want to hold on to those draft picks this year. So the handwriting was kind of on the wall. Plus, the Dolphins had already made a trade this, this off season. This season in season they traded for Claypool. So if you want to say, oh, Greer didn't do anything this year, and he almost does something every year, he already did. He was just ahead of the curve. He did it ahead of time. Yes, granted, at a position that not a lot of people was anticipating, bringing in another receiver, but he did make a move. And at the end of the day, like I say, they were very limited in what they could do from draft capital. If you don't want to give up draft capital and no one wants to take a player off your hands that has a big contract, you're kind of stuck. But McDaniel brought up a good point. We got people coming back. We got Connor Williams going to be coming back. That's a big anchor difference in the line. And he helps people out around him. It's very good to have a good, solid center there. Then you get Armstead back, if not this week, after the bye week. You get Armstead in there, like I say, and that's going to be a big difference. So we got a couple of guys, and not forget Jalen Ramsey, who came back this past week, already had an interception, forced a fumble that won't show up in the stat sheet due to like the Dolphins accepted a penalty on that since the ball went out of bounds. The Dolphins didn't recover the forced fumble, but it's very good to have Ramsey back. We got Xavier Howard returning back. We recently got Nick Needham back recently. Now he's hurt again. Recently got Brandon Jones back. So, this year. So it's just like we are starting to form a strong team. We just got to keep at it. So I don't know if you guys wanted a big trade yesterday or you understood that there's probably not going to be a big trade. I'm okay with it. I would have liked to see maybe another offensive line because I feel that's where we're like the depth. It's a little thin, but it's hard to have great depth in every position. I say on this so often. So yes, there you go. Hauling out of concussion protocol. McDaniel touched on that, and Connor for sure in the game. Yes, hooked up Joe. From what they were saying, Xavier is the only one that he didn't really, but he was saying he would think it would be hard because it was hard to talk to Xavier last week, telling him that he wasn't going to play last week. He really wanted to play with Ramsey that first game back. But I do believe we would see Xavier Howard, Connor Williams, window open on Armstead, and like you said, and I touched off on the top of the show that Javon Holland is out of concussion protocol. So those are all good things working in the Dolphins' favor. If you wanted the big sexy move and get someone, it didn't happen yesterday. It is what it is. We can't control it. So let's just hope this team that we have, this is the team that this is it. This is what Chris Greer and the Miami Dolphins are telling us is good enough that they think this team can compete for it all. Because at the end of the day, that's what they're here for. Do they're here to win the Super Bowl, and we will see. So this is a team that they think gives us the best chance to make a run in the playoffs because they didn't do anything of note other than Claypool in season this year. So this is it. This is what they're telling us. And I believe this team is good enough. And this is when we get back into this Kansas City game, a must win or not a must win. To me, it's from a psychological standpoint, it's kind of a must win because you really want to show, that you can go in there and you can punch some good team in the mouth. And granted, for the second time in as many almost weeks as when they're playing a good team. They're coming off a loss against a team that some people didn't think they should lose to. The Eagles lost to the Jets. I know the Jets are no one to sleep on with that defense, but no one thought the Eagles would lose to the Jets. Then no one definitely thought that the Chiefs would go lose to the Broncos. So we're getting another team that's going to come in with, they're not going to want to lose two games in a row. They also know that if we win that game, we're going to be a game ahead of them, plus one in the tiebreaker column, which is always very important. Hey, stranger, guys, make sure you check out Finn's take with CB83. He brings good contact. Go find his channel after you run out of this one and subscribe to him. Really good guy, really good content. Always brings good stuff on the Miami Dolphins front. Thanks, Joe. I haven't heard he actually practiced yet. So, so Eli Apple, do you think if Xavier Howard comes back and obviously Ramsey and Howard stay healthy, you don't see Apple coming into the game, Scotty? Which makes sense because Cater Kohus did a very good job and they moved him more inside. And yeah, I could see that. I could see all that. So I sure hope so. I sure hope Taylor Swift is not going to attend so I don't have to see her face every catch, Kelsey. Oh, well, that's going to happen if she's there for sure. That's for sure. They're eating this stuff up. I don't know what her schedule, if she's going to be over there. I don't know, but we will see soon enough. But hopefully he doesn't catch many balls so we don't even have to worry. I would like to see Ramsey on him, but I know these guys that break down all 22, and they were saying that, and Omar Kelly was saying the same thing this morning. He's filling in for Joe Rose this week because Joe Rose flew with the team over to Germany. So Omar Kelly's running the show this whole week while Joe's over in Germany. And he wonders, like, will Fangio come off his ways of just keeping on a corner on each side, not rotating them to cover the best player? Or will he break from that philosophy and make sure Ramsey is around Kelsey? So, and like move him around and just staying out there on the corner, have him kind of, be on Kelsey. That's going to be interesting. Or will he just stand pat and do what he does? Keep Xavier on one side, keep Ramsey on one side, and just however they lined up, that's how you go. We will see that soon. That will. Let's see. She's not going. She's not going. Damon had stats for her and Kel. All right, that is funny. Okay, so she's not. Mr. Courtwright coming with the 411. And for you younger guys, 411 used to be information back in the day when you called it kind of like 911 for emergency, 411 you could call and get a phone number, get the information you needed. So there you go. But thank you. So she will not be at the game. I'm hoping this team wins big game finally. If they lose this game, then I'm not going to be excited for any playoff appearance. I get where you're coming from, G-Man. I get where you're coming from. But yes, they need from that standpoint, yes, these kind of wins, you have to show you can beat a really, really good team. But you can still lose to them in the regular season and then kick their butt in the playoffs. It happens, you know. But yes, it's the ideal no, because this is your chance to snatch a win from a top competitive AFC team battling for the same thing you want to be the number one seed in the AFC. So this is like double important. Like I said, I don't know if I would go as far as saying, as Scotty is saying, a must win, but it is very important that we get this game. And it's almost like a must win without being a must win mathematically, if that makes any sense. Because you could still lose it and still be there. All right, Scotty, there you go. The 4-1-1. I know that's just an old saying. It's all good though. Yeah. I remember a line where an operator you could tap in a call being on it. Oh man, I mean, I know that's really going back, Mr. Court, right? That's really, I mean, before my time when you would call. But there were operators. Yeah, when I was very young, you could still call, hit zero, and you would get the operator. So it was funny. Oh man, it's good. No, you're right. It's huge for tiebreak. I agree 100%. Scotty will agree with you 100%. G man, this game is huge for tiebreakers in the playoffs. And I agree. The records of the Dolphins home, I don't have them in front of me right now, but I was reading them over this week. And their winning record at home playoff games is far, far supersedes their not so great. And I'm talking about the history of the Dolphins when they were really good teams and stuff. Their history of road playoff wins is not as solid as it is in when they would have home games. So it's a big, and that's still. I mean, look how the Miami Dolphins. People would say, "Oh, the Dolphins haven't played a good team at home this year," but we've beaten every team at home this year easily. Not even any last second gasp of like hoping that we just barely hang on for a win or barely get a field goal at the end. We've beat every team at home easily this year, and it's been a pleasure to be there for a lot of them. I only missed the Giants game in attendance. I watched it on TV, of course, but maybe you think, oh yeah, that was a when he's like his number was close enough, and people went, oh, that was funny. Yeah, people would call for movies, and it's good. He would be like, say what you want, because it would be like beep beep. Oh man, let's see. Hit the like button for the Dolphin Thursday doing another great show. Thank you, Crazy Dolphin. Yeah, guys, give that thumbs up if you haven't already. Most of you guys are great at doing that. Man, I hit 30 likes the other day, man. You guys rock. I had never hit. I know for like Miss Fins, that's like nothing. And the Fins Talk Sports Network that I'm part of, nothing. But man, for Dolphin Thursday to get 30 likes, man, it was like super pumped. I mean, Steve gave me a big thumbs up. He called and said, man, you got 30 likes. So thank you guys. My show the other day hit 30 likes, and that was super special on my end. I loved it. Really appreciate it. Tua is 16 and 2 at home in his last 18. Yes, that's a must. I agree, Scotty. I mean, who I would love it, man. Definitely. Not only is it crowd noise that we can run our motions better, weather, at most you might get some rain or whatever. You're not going to be playing in freezing cold temperatures when it's snowing and sleet and all that nasty stuff that you could get when you have to travel on the road. Friendly confines of Hard Rock Stadium, much better for the hopes of teams moving forward in the playoffs. It's very rare. Teams have done it where they've gone the wild card route and won on the road and make it to the Super Bowl, but the odds are much more favorable for the teams that have home games in the playoffs. Just a big advantage from so many different reasons, and it's just something that I want the Dolphins to have, and that's part of the reason that we've been one and done so much lately. Because the last couple playoff games has been on the road. We had to go up to Buffalo, we had to go up to Pittsburgh, and ugly stuff. I mean, we did have a home game against the Ravens several years ago and lose that, but for the most part, home cooking is better than eating out on the road all the time. So the home, you want to be at home cooking, home, even though you may not get home cooking from the referees that we want or whatever. But hey, I don't care about that. Just win the game, be at home. Don't worry about snow. Don't worry about sleet. Don't worry about freezing rain and crazy crowd noise that you can't hear. Win these games now, man. Take control now. Control your own destiny. We are in control right now as far as the AFC East, but let's stay in control of the whole AFC. That's what I would want. So Scotty's almost going to make me switch and say this is a must-win game if I keep on that rant. But it is a very, very vital game this week. Vital for what we want. Hey, Eric. We can't stop one. Doesn't hurt us later that we can. Hey, I know our run defense have gotten into the about. Steve pointed it out last night. It's not as bad. It's moved up. We're like halfway in the league on run defense, and so it's not as bad as it was. But yeah, teams can bully us. I don't know about the Chiefs if they will bully us as much because they're used to tossing the ball around. So we will see on that front. And now that we're getting some of our defensive backs back, that should help. So, yep, Gallagher was the guy that smashed watermelons. Andrew Dice Clay, yeah, he would not make it in today's world. That's for sure. He would have never even become a thing in today's world with his humor. But I don't even know what happened to him. His Mr. He was kind of funny and just like Mr. I forget all of his lines, but with some I can't say here on the nice family friendly Dolphins thirsty. But yeah, Rodney Dangerfield, his best line was always, I get no respect. When they used to give him like back rows, seats, and all of that. I think he too. That was another good one. Oh, yes, I did see that. When I woke up this morning, I found out that the Raiders had got rid of McDaniels with the S for being he's silly gone. He be gone, and the general manager gone. So they're going to be looking for. I guess that's the way that you should do it when you do it. Fire everyone and then let the general manager come pick whoever he wants to be the coach. So we will see what they do. Hopefully, that doesn't give them any fired up but by the time we played them, they already have a couple games under their belt, maybe because we got the bye week, we got this week, and so they won't have that mojo. Because I do believe sometimes they play well for that interim coach for that first game because they're like, oh, we're rid of the wicked witch, but then reality sets back in, and you're still not that good of a football team, and you lose. Because when Dan Campbell, his first two games, he kicked butt. We're like, oh my God, we should have got rid of Philbin long time ago. And then we just fizzled out after those first two wins of Dan Campbell. And now Dan Campbell, though, to his credit, is looking like a good coach over in Detroit, up in Detroit. So he's doing well up there. But, so it's by the time we get the Raiders, hopefully it's a W in our books. And, they can tell our team the greatest places to stay for Super Bowl week because we're going to be up there for the Super Bowl in Vegas. That'd be great. Hey, that's what I said this morning. I wouldn't be surprised in the offseason if he goes back to the Patriots in some format as a coach. That seems to where it's funny, man. This man, everyone knocked down doors for a long time trying to get him. Then he went to Indianapolis for a half a bottle of water before he decides he doesn't want to take the job, and then it's out. And then they have to go find someone else after he initially accepted it and whole mess. Then he overcame all of that, and then now got this job with the Raiders, and then they got rid of him. So we won't have a McDaniel versus McDaniels week, where we had to worry about messing up names. That's good. McDaniel and McDaniels will not be a thing this year. Who will the Raiders poach from other teams? Hey, they could, man. That's going to be fun to see in the offseason who they start looking at for the long term. Do they dip into the old Jim Harbaugh pool because it's word out that things are getting turmoiled up there of all the scandal going on that Jim Harbaugh couldn't, even though he promised he won it, leave college. But who knows? Because some people they're saying they don't even want Jim Harbaugh there anymore because of the scandals. But hey, I don't know. I call it the ball getting canned and telling back, hey, you did call that last show, Scotty. You did call that last show. So we will see, man. But on the Dolphin front, it's finally good not to be calling for our coach to be fired. It's good, man. Good times to be a Dolphin fan because so many times over the recent years, we've just been, oh, this guy needs to go. That guy needs to go. It's nice to actually have a coach that we all, for the most part, agree with. I say the most part because in Dolphin land, there'd be nothing would surprise me that someone doesn't like McDaniel. But for most of the people I've seen and interact with, him and here in the broad spectrum of social media, most people like McDaniel. Now, like I say, are there probably dissenters? Of course, that's just how social media is. But for the most part, McDaniel seems to have a lot of support and for good reason. He's innovated. Teams are copying his things that he does. And it just shows that, and yes, teams are maybe starting to figure out how to stop some of those things, but that's just like football. That's just how it goes. You adapt, and yes, you're not going to have some secret success forever without teams figuring some stuff out a little bit. But it's also the flattery when coaches from all levels, you see it trickle in on the college level and pro level. A lot of these motions that the Dolphins do, didn't that, and then a lot of these little, low look passes. Now, a couple of teams have tried like up the middle where the quarterback looks somewhere else and kind of shuffles it off to the running back going up the middle. So this is becoming, he has started a trend. So to me, he's a good long-term fixture. I just hope he doesn't get caught up if the Dolphins don't win and Ross decides to make a decision at general manager, and he could be one of the side casualties, falling on the wayside. But to me, McDaniel, I think we found our long-term coach. I'm tired of every 3 years our big news is talking about finding a new coach. I want this to be our long tenured coach. I like him. I would think if you did a poll, 90%. I would say 90. I would think it would be higher than 90%. But like I say, it's social media. Fans are going to be fans one way or the other. But I would think 90% would say that McDaniel is doing about expected or above expected in keeping this team. So I just don't see who would knock McDaniel. Yes, I'm drinking the Mike McDaniel Kool-Aid, as I like to say, but I'm hoping because remember I grew up in the Don Shula era, so I was used to the coach being here forever, just sticking around. I didn't even realize other teams were firing coaches all the time. I didn't know as a youngster, and then I grew up. I mean, that's how long Shula was here. I grew up from a little kid to a man by time Don Shula stepped aside and Jimmy Johnson took over. So I was a little kid to a man in the Don Shula era. That's how long Don Shula was around. So it's crazy. And to me, it's just, like I say, I would love that if we get the next coach that just comes here. It's very rare in this day and age, outside of Belichick, Tomlinson, Andy Reid's looking like he hasn't been long term Kansas City because he had been over at, but but there's very few coaches that just stick with a team forever anymore. The days of Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, patrolling the sidelines, and who was the Raiders coach, like Flores and all the Madden and all those guys. These guys, these days are gone, man. Coaches that maybe at best get that 3 years, and then if they don't win a playoff game or something, they're gone. They're out the door. Yeah. No, I agree, Scotty. I think McDaniel is the best coach since Shula. I really, really, truly feel that. And I know some people, say, hey, whoa, don't combine them. But that's why I like how you worded it. Since Shula. You're not saying he's better than Shula. He's the best coach since Shula. And that's my feelings 100%. He's the best coach since Don Shula. Now, can this change if in the next couple of years we don't get a playoff victory? Yes, of course. Then I may change my view. But just the vibe he gives, the innovation where you actually watch a play not knowing it was so because we normally within the first couple weeks of a Dolphins season with a new coach, I would already I no no pro knowledge whatsoever could look at the Dolphins offense and be able to say, oh, they're going to run this play. Oh, they're going to pass this play. Now you don't know what's coming. And I like that. And you don't even know who it's going to. I love that fact. I can't just call it most of the time. Like with Philbin, like what would did Brian Tanner used to say, like, go, go, go. And every time he said, like, go, 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 it was like a running play or whatever. I mean, it's just, come on, guys. You know, let's see. What did Mr. Courtwright needs dance class? Waddle, yeah, here's Waddle, But hey, the man is, he's no spring chicken. So just to have him up there doing it was pretty cool. But Ross needs dance class. Waddle version dance was weak. I want to see Stephen Ross try that in the locker room. Yeah, maybe he could get some tutoring from Mr. Jalen Waddle himself, and then he could do it a little bit better. But hey, man, save that stuff for getting to the Super Bowl. I mean, save that for like the AFC home championship game when you get to go and celebrate that your team's going to be playing in the Super Bowl after Jalen Waddle catches a game-winning touchdown pass at Hard Rock. See, those are the kind of memories I hope my kids can grow. When I went, in 1984 when the Dolphins went to the Super Bowl. We won't mention what happened to the 49ers and the Dolphins in that Super Bowl, but we blew out the AFC championship game. Dan Marino lit up the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, that at the Orange Bowl was still back in the day. It was fun. It was electric. It was like so exciting to me. And they just blew them out. I just would love that feeling for the Dolphins to get there. So at least my kids can feel that Super Bowl week because I remember 2 Super Bowl weeks in my life. And it's 2 weeks, but the 1 week leading up is when you start seeing all the events and all of that. So 2 times, and both times my Dolphins fell short because I don't remember. You guys that listen to my show all the time know a little too young to remember the Super Bowl wins, but those Super Bowl losses to the Den, watching the Redskins, we lost, and then we lost to the 49ers. But man, those weeks leading up, it was so much anticipation, so much fun. There's so much good stuff. I just want there, get there again. Let's see. Ross is loving this season. Guys get a bad rap, but he's poor. Yes, I agree with him, Scotty. Yes, he gets a bad rap for a couple things that maybe he deserved but you know what? Human on the earth doesn't do some stupid things sometimes. I like Ross. The man will spend money. Even if the Dolphins make a mistake on a player, they would rework a contract, find ways to bring in another player. Because some owners would say, sorry, man, you drafted him. He's not good. That's on you. I'm not going to go sign some free agent at that same position because you screwed up in the draft. He doesn't care. He would sign that. He would give players more money to rework a contract, give them more signing bonus. So, there's a lot of owners that wouldn't do that. Does he do some knucklehead thing sometimes like Camper and got us all, maybe that, if you want to blame him for that. But at the end of the day, he was trying to make a better team and what he thought would be a better team. Did it blow up in our face? Yes. Am I happy that we didn't get Sean Payton? Very happy we didn't get Sean Payton. Could I eat those words in a few years if Sean Payton goes on and wins again? Yeah, I could, but I'd much rather have right now. If you give me the choice of Tua and McDaniel, or like the last year of Brady and a Sean Payton, I would take Tua McDaniel all the time. And so, sometimes what you wish for is good that you didn't get. That's why the saying, be careful what you wish for. But I'm with you, Scotty. I know it's not popular, so I would drive people out of the room. They may unlike but I think Mr. Ross deserves kudos. He made that stadium beautiful when a lot of people don't, when all these owners, like the Buffalo Bills owners, they get fans all the time in Buffalo. They get NFL money all the time from Buffalo, but they still want taxpayer dollars. Ross has said, screw it. Let me renovate this stadium. Just like Joe Robbie before him, just went and did it his way, built it with his money. And that's how I look at it. That's good ownership. Let's see. Who was the owner? Who was the owner with an ice out chain? I don't know. Or ice cream chain, maybe. I don't know. Mr. Court, right? That I don't know. Ice out chain. The Dolphins have only had, I don't know if you're talking to a Dolphin. We've only had Joe Robbie, Wayne Huizinga, and Stephen Ross. I don't know on another team. I'm not sure, Mr. Courtwright. Coach McDaniel, mad science experiments changing the NFL right now. He is, man. He is changing the NFL. Teams are copying what he does as well. So it's good to see. And but it's best to see, getting back to this week, I know we kind of got sidetracked this year with all the McDaniel talk and all the stuff talk, but that's what's fun about my own show. I can talk about whatever, and you guys can talk. That's why I let you guys control what we're talking about. That's funny, Art Sell. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he did it. I know a lot of coaches don't last long at all. That's why I just grew up with Shula, and then Chuck Noll and Landry were all the names when I was a kid. Those are the three guys that they basically never went anywhere. So I want Mike McDaniel to be here for the next 20 years or so. Let's just win, 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 and win some more with McDaniel at the helm. And just make this a machine, like New England did for over a damn decade. Just always winning the division, keeping it going, just bringing in new. That's what, once you keep it going, it's easier. I mean, once you get it going, it's easier to keep it going because you get people coming here chasing a ring. You get people, willing to play for a little bit less money. So you need to get that ball moving and going and establish that winning culture here, and everything else will take care of itself. Hey, I believe you, Mr. Fry. I don't know though if anyone else can help you out. I don't know. If Rob, it was another team where owner had diamond-based chain, like a rapper type chain. Hey, I believe you. I believe you. Mr. Courtwright. Yeah, I still call it every so often. Joe Robbie will come out of my mouth to this day when I'm saying, "Oh, I'm going to Joe Robbie," and then I was change it to Hard Rock so people know, like people that know, like diehard fans, we know when I say Joe Robbie. But if I tell some younger guy down the street, "Hey, I'm going to Joe Robbie," they'd be like, "Where's Joe Robbie?" So, I drove by the Panthers arena again yesterday, way off topic, but where the Florida Panthers play. I don't know if any of you guys are from South Florida, but they changed the name again because it was like Florida Live or FLA Live last year. And now there's some bank name on there that I'd never even heard of. And I couldn't even tell you. Oh, there you go. Scotty says Jay Z owns the Brooklyn Nets, Mr. Courtwright. Jay Z owns the Brooklyn Nets. I did not know that. Thank you. I don't really follow basketball, so I know I follow basketball enough to know that the Brooklyn Nets are a basketball team. But other than that, I don't really follow basketball. So thank you, Scotty, for that 411. So, guys, so I guess we all think tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow. I wish it was tomorrow. Sunday morning. It's not necessarily a must win as far as making the playoffs, but it's a must win if you want to make the playoffs and go further in the playoffs with home field advantage. That's how I guess we will look at it on that front. So we will see. I know I love me some Reggie Roby, but for a punter, I think it's what only Ray Guy or something's the only punter in the Hall of Fame. So it's almost impossible to make the Hall of Fame as a punter. And it's just, punters get no love, kicker gets no love, even though a couple kickers have made it now. But, it's those are the tough positions to get in at. It's just how it goes. Just like you could be a super great special teams coordinator like Mike White, Westhoff used to be for the Daw, and he would never be in the Hall of Fame, but he's probably one of the best special teams coaches of all time. But really, only those are reserved for the head coaches, like coordinators and coaches. They don't make the Hall either, so it's just like really special, like positions that make it. Just like MVP, you might as well call it the best quarterback award because I don't see anyone other than a quarterback winning the MVP in the NFL anytime soon. I mean, even if Tyreek Hill puts up 2,000 yards and the Dolphins have a great regular season record because they basically will base it all off the regular season. I just don't see Tyreek Hill him and getting like and who else in the NFL outside of Tyreek Hill that's a non-quarterback with him and be in the conversation. I would have to look and see some other names out there and see who would be in contention. But to me, it's basically the best quarterback award is the MVP, and that's just how it goes. This was my preseason number one. Oh yeah, I agree, man. I mean, this is a game, and that you put yourself up against the best. This is the Super Bowl champs. This is a defending AFC champs, Super Bowl champs. They've won the AFC 3 recent times. They've been in 3 recent Super Bowls. They got the best quarterback on the planet. It's time to go up there and knock them. Now, it's not even knock there. It's over in Germany, across the pond. We got a benefit there. So it's time to go over to Germany, take control of the AFC. We'll be in control, basically. But we can't sleep on because we all want to forget that the Jaguars and the Ravens and there's other teams hanging in there. So if you really want to say must win more on the just that front too, man, because you could go from being like fighting for number one seed to really you'd be behind Kansas City, you'd be behind the Ravens, and you'd be behind the Jags in a blink of an eye if you lose this week. So, I think Jaguars are playing the 49ers this week. Maybe the 49ers get back to their winning ways, but it is in Jacksonville. I don't know who the Ravens play. But yeah, you could easily be in the blink of an eye down. And it's a long season, but this game is important in head to head. It's important in conference, wins. So yes, it's a vital game, Scotty. And it is to me, it's if you would have told me we could like say split with Buffalo, say we beat Buffalo when we get them down here in Miami. But if you just say, oh, beat Buffalo in Buffalo, beat the Eagles in Philadelphia, or beat Kansas City over in Germany, you can only have one of them. I would have picked beating Kansas City as the team I would want to beat because they're the guys that they're the calling card. They're the team that the standard that you're judged by. They're the defending Super Bowl champs, defending AFC champs. They're the big boy on the block. That's the one you got to beat to become the big boy on the block. So I'm with you, Scotty. That is the best way to look at it as far as the importance of this game. I think this MVP will be a player, not in media. Tua 7 or 8, and Mahomes has 8. Tua does lead NFL in touch. I think this year's MVP will be a player not in the media. Okay, so someone else will just come out of snatch that MVP. Is what Mr. Corkwright's saying. Let's see what before I get out of here. What does Crazy Dolphin say? How do you feel about our special teams right now? I'm okay with them, but yeah, our punters, our coverage teams, how can I say it as nicely as I'm trying to be positive? Could leave a little bit more to be desired. I don't like our coverage teams. They make me a little bit nervous. Luckily, the kickoffs 90%, well, not even 90%, probably 97% of the time are kicked out in the end zone. But I'm okay with Sanders. I know he's shaky from some people's view. Evan Posner, if you're out there listening in Montreal, wherever you are. But, to me, I'm okay with Jason Sanders. The punter, I'm a little iffy about. He's pulled off some bad punts. But yeah, I mean, the special teams is not our strongest, I would say, unit put it nicely. It's not our strongest unit. I would say our offensive, our strongest unit. Defense is our most improving unit. And special team is probably the one that needs maybe the most improvement. I like our return game, though. So let me give some positive there. I do like Braxton Berrios as the punt returner. I like that. Like I say, kick returner. You might get 1 or 2 kick returns here or there, but punt returning, I like Braxton Berrios back there. I have confidence in him. And he actually, if he can, he will look up the field and see. If not, he would just fair catch it and he would make the fair catch and do what he has to do. Bailey has not performed. Go sign the punt god. He was cleared of active. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right there, Scotty. I just know that for whatever reason, the powers that be gave Bailey. You're good at knowing the caps, and you may know better than me, but for whatever reason, Bailey had like pretty out Turk in the pre because he is they gave him pretty much guaranteed money as a punter, a pretty big contract that you take a hit on if you get rid of him. So I don't know what they were thinking when they signed him. They signed him so early in the free. I don't know what they were thinking, but hey, we'll see. Let's see, Scotty. Scotty said on that one, not a fan of that one. Yeah, or yeah, I know who you were talking about. I remember him now, Matt, or whatever his name. No, not Matt. That was our guy, Matt Turk. But I know who you're talking about, the punt god guy, and he got accused. Some woman faked him. I feel bad, man. That guy, and then now no one touched him. It's just weird. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. It was just weird because some woman accused him of something, but then he wasn't even there or whatever. I mean, he's totally clear. Not like because believe me, as a long time police officer, retired now for a couple of years, but it, sometimes you get charges get dropped doesn't mean that stuff didn't happen. It's just because the woman doesn't want to end up pressing charges, knowing many reasons why that happens because they're back together and they're like, oh, it never happened. But in this case, he was totally cleared. He wasn't even there the night that this woman accused him of doing the stuff he did, and that's just that kid's career got ruined because of that stuff. The Bills drafted dude and still owns rights on play. No, I think they outright released him, didn't they, Mr. Courtwright? They drafted him, but they outright released him. So, um, I think he's free to sign with anyone because they just cut him. I don't think they put him on any kind of list. I think they just cut him. Yeah, tackling. Yeah, crazy. Agree with tackling it. The tackling. Yes, you are right, Crazy. Thank you, Scotty, for pointing out Crazy's comment. Crazy. Thank you for commenting. Need to improve with turnovers and tackling. Yes, 100%. We did get the Ramsey interception this week on that. We got to avoid turning the ball over, and we got to create more turnovers. I want to see the old X, the guy that used to be the ball hawk X. That might be coming now that Ramsey's back. And you're going to have two guys back there. Holland, has a reputation of being a ball hawk. That hasn't really come into fruition this year. But maybe with him returning from there, and now with all these guys, he's going to have a little more range and freedom to know that these guys going to be can really just look for that ball. That would be nice. I really want to see some more ball hawking. I mean, I don't want him to go with the ball and then let the guy go 80 yards behind him for a touchdown when they miss the ball. Be smart about it. But I would like to see a little more ball hawking defensive backs out there. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, Scotty, that the Bills just outright cut him. Maybe some facts in the NFL knows is why no one signed the guy. Maybe the same cop that held Big Ben. Who knows, man? That helped Big Ben. I don't know. But from what I heard, I don't know the whole story, so I'm not going to comment. But if you look up his name, I think it turned out that he wasn't even at the place that the woman alleged that stuff happened. I don't know. I would have to go. I don't want to comment too much, but it's something towards that regard. Let's see. Please hit the like button for another Dolphins Thirsty Great show. Thank you guys. Definitely hit that thumbs up. And the other day I hit 30. Today I don't have as big as a crowd, but it's an awesome crowd. So that's awesome. Once I got one person in here other than myself yapping out, I'm fine because I like to be interactive. I love talking Dolphin football. Try to be as positive as I can, but I sometimes will have to talk real. If the Dolphins play a horrible game, I'm gonna tell you they play a horrible game. I won't make it personal. I would just say, hey, they sucked that game. Like I told you after the Buffalo game. They stunk. Doesn't mean I still think we can't beat the Bills and be better than the Bills, but that game we stunk. We weren't that great against the Eagles, and with all the bad refereeing and yada yada yada, I would tell you we didn't play our best game. So this week, I hope when I come talk Monday morning, that game's so early on Sunday. I'm not going to do a pregame. I'm going to do a pregame like on Saturday with Steve Malloy as a host with me, and then I will do maybe I do a post game sometime on Sunday hopefully the Dolphins win, of course, and we're all happy talking about the Dolphins beating the Kansas City Chiefs that day. If not, I just wait for my normal Monday time slot at 10 a.m. to talk about it. But a win, I might get encouraged to pop in there a little early and do a post game that day. Yeah. Yeah, see, you got me all choked up. Really, the water went down the wrong way. But Crazy Dolphin, yes, and we need that too. That was an oddball, but now he's hardly getting any snaps. But that's what oddball was so good at, knocking down defensive, the passes at the line of scrimmage. Thank you, Mr. Courtwright. I appreciate that. And like I said, I appreciate all you guys, man. You guys rock. All you guys are regular. I don't do the nighttime shows normally just because there's so many. Everyone and their mother does nighttime shows, and like the Finns tailgate and the TD Finns talk, and some of my fellow guys at they only do one of them Finns Talk Sports Network. They have a couple of nights that they run, but one of them I'm on. But it's hard to find nighttime slot that there's not a great lot of people already out there yapping. So I come here. I appreciate, and I know there's other options right now and very popular channels probably talking right now on the Dolphins. Good guy, Stephen D. He's probably yapping right now, and he has the number one time slot at this time of morning. So I appreciate that you guys come in here and give us out a little good help. Anyway, guys, that's it, man. We are 6-2. Things are looking good. If we can get to 7-2, 8-2, and on and beyond, to infinity beyond, as Buzz Lightyear would say, would be great. I want to see that. I want to see continue progress with this team. I like the path they're taking. Yes, we took it on the chin a couple of times, but I don't think any of us thought we were going to go 17-0 when we started the season in the regular season. And I don't think any of us really are thinking we're going 15-2 at this point. It's a week by week thing in the NFL. But this week does have kind of a special. For one, it's over in Germany. For two, you're going against the defending Super Bowl championships with Mr. Quarterback himself, Mr. Patrick Mahomes, Mr. Commercial Man himself, Kelsey. Every commercial, there's known to man. It seems like he's on recently. So we're going against that team. To beat the best, you got to beat the best. Just to be a good standard game to go out there and show we can be out there. Yes, we are. Yes. Yeah, make sure you guys follow Miss Finns. She rocks. She's up to the best. Hey, Dad Dean, saw you in Miss Finns. Speaking of, I'm just about out of here, Dad Dean. But before I go, Dad Dean, if you can nail that big thumbs up for me. Like I was telling these guys, you guys got me to 30 the other day. I won't get that many today, probably. I don't have as many as you in here, but to get 30 likes was awesome. It was super. So maybe the Dolphins will put up at least 30 against Kansas City this week, and I'll be happy. It's going to be fun. I mean, it's fun to be a Dolphin fan right now. I mean, none of us know how this story is going to end, but it's a fun movie in the meantime. It's fun. I just hope it doesn't have a bad ending, But just for fans like all of us are old enough to at least remember recent bad years. And, we've had Adam Gase years, and we had Philbin years, and Sperano, and then go back. May he rest in peace. He did bring some winning football that first year, just like some of our other first year coaches. That's why I hope McDaniel doesn't copy that and just have a first year playoff appearance and then nothing else like they did. Like I said, I think he's different. He gives me a different vibe. He just wants it. I mean, they all want it, but I don't know. To me, I can't explain it. I've dealt with people my whole career, and to me, he just comes across as more sincere than some of these other guys. And have I met him in person to really read him? No, but just how he comes across talking to me, he's just a sincere guy. He just has a knowledge that's deep. The players seem to relate to him, and I think it's a good recipe moving forward. I really do. And it's just fun, man. Because I remember just a couple of years ago where we'd be like, one play of 20 yards in the game. We would have one 20-yard play, and we're like, oh, we had a 20-yard play today. Now by the first quarter, you're expecting a 20-yard play and a 40-yard play. I mean, it's just coming all the time. I mean, it's actually fun to watch this team play. And I watched them through the horrible years, 1-15, yada yada yada. I watched them there. I've watched them the years that they had like the second pick when they drafted Ronnie Brown. I've watched them when they've had horrible, horrible seasons. So to just not strive for like this, oh please give me a first down, is what you used to say. Or let's kick a field goal at the end of the game so we're not shut out and have a zero on the scoreboard at the end of the game. This has just been fun. It's enjoyable. Yes, the Cam year. The Cam year. Cam Cameron was here 1 year. He was a one and done. Thank God he was a one and done. And we didn't stick. That's the one coach I was happy was a out of here and one and done. It's bad hire from the get go. And I like it. I mean, like I say, it's this year. It's just fun. We don't know how it's going to end, but let's just enjoy the ride. I'm not going to get into like, oh, this seems, you know what? Let's just enjoy it as it is. We're 6-2. Most teams in the NFL would love to be in the position we are in right now. And I've said I'm not overlooking the Jags. I'm not overlooking the Ravens, the Bills, the Jets, the Chiefs. All these teams are in good position. We just got to keep doing what we're doing. Keep bringing enjoyable football, and things will work out. Yeah, that's another big selling point. Tyreek against his old team. What a matchup. What fun. It's going to be. I would love to see him go off for like 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, and what have you. Tomorrow, if I do a show, which I probably will, it'll be a little throwback Thursday talk. We can talk about some records, do some trivia, have some fun stuff on that front. Definitely be here Friday. Thursday is always one of my up in the air if I'm going to do something, and I always end up talking myself into doing something. But we will see. Well, guys, thank you. Just enjoy. This is a time. Thank you, Mr. Dad Dean. Thank you so much. You rock, man. And guys, he found me probably because of Miss Fins. Miss Fins, and like I've said a few times, please check her channel out if you haven't done so already. Really nice lady, really nice Dolphins content, and just basically a lot of fun. And her show today was crazy. Her when she let Kohler onto the show, they had a good, fun debate. But guys, 6-2 in control in the AFC East. Tua's playing well. Tyreek is giving us a show every week. Waddle this week. I mean, I know he had a couple of drops, whatever, but man, the man still had over 100 yards, had a touchdown. Drops are going to happen, unfortunately. Tyreek had a couple of drops before that against the. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's just football on all levels. It's going to happen at times, but for the most part, we're watching a show. And to me, like I always say, it kind of reminds me of the Dan Marino and Mark Duper, Mark Clayton days. You know, it's different era, whole different style. But man, it's fun to finally watch the Dolphins play football. Jesse Johnson, thank you for coming in. It's right at the end, but thank you and bless you and your family. And happy November, guys. Happy November. We're already in November. Time is flying. Before we know it, the football season is going to be over. Just enjoy it as it's going. I can't believe it's already November. It's a big thumbs up time for us. I love it. Guys, I'm out of here. Yeah, well, I got a long way to go. Let me get to 500, but thank you, Dad Dean. I love that positive energy. Let me get to 500 first, and then we will talk about the 1,000. I got to get to that 500 slowly but surely. As long as I say, as long as I have one person in here chatting during my shows, I'm superb. That's all I need. And then I get extra guys in here, extra people, extra fans. That's all you really need, right? That's what I'm here to talk, Dolphins football. And I love it. It's finally time that our Dolphins have a little positive, and we're not in news for stupid stuff. We're in news for being a good football team. Thank you, Dad Dean, again. We'll pass. I think so. I think so, Mr. Corp, right? Knocking on wood. If everyone stays healthy, our receivers stay healthy, he stays healthy. I'm going to talk about like I think Mozart make break the Dolphins all-time rushing touchdown, single season, not all time, single season rushing touchdown, which is 16. That was going to be one of my questions for tomorrow if I do, because Ricky Williams currently holds the Dolphins rushing record for a single season at 16. He already has 10 rushing touchdowns, 12 overall, but for rushing touchdowns solo, he has 10 rushing touchdowns, does Mozart. So he could easily break Ricky Williams' touchdown record this year for a single season. So that'd be fun, man. That's good stuff. Guys, that's it. No more. I'm at my 1 hour mark here. I actually went over 1 hour again, blabbing Rob Mosley, aka Dolphins Thirsty. Let me get one more comment in there before I do the closeout. I know why Trooper threw me in jail at Cardinals said Dolphins are going to a Super Bowl, baby. Hey, that sounds good for me. Jesse Johns. Hey, Jesse, if you're new here, please tackle that subscribe button and give a big old, I call it fins up. I start hearing me say, I always want to say fins up, but it's thumbs up here on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you, guys. Yes, 15-2 would be amazing. Do I realistically think that? No. I'm thinking, we still got a couple losses along the journey, but it doesn't mean the season's over. It means you're going to face some adversity during the season. But every team across the league, they're going to face some adversity. I don't think any of these teams that is currently sitting 6-2 are going to end up at 15-2. I could eat my words, and I hope if I eat my words, it's because the Dolphins went 15-2. All right, guys. Now I'm really out of here. I just kept on seeing comments I didn't want to see. I didn't want to say. But anyway, guys, remember, if you ever buy anything on Fanatics, you can come through my website or the link here. You still get the same great prices that Fanatics offers with their discount codes, yada, yada, yada. Same safe, secured purchasing on their website. But the channel will get a little bit of a tiny thread of profit. If you buy a t-shirt on their site, you pay no more, and Dolphin Thirsty get a little bit of that. So that's it, guys. Fins up to all of you. And yes, it's time to go. I just wanted to see. I missed off in New England in week 2, got in an argument with Trooper at the game. I lost. Yeah, you're never going to win with those at that place. That's for sure. Not at that moment. You can have your day later, but you're never going to win. And fins up. Let's go, Miami Dolphins. Definitely fins up. That's the perfect note to end this show on, guys. Hold on one second. I'll let you see my face one more time. I just wanted to get that Fanatics ingrained in your brain if you're ever going to buy something. Anyway, don't spend extra. Just do it if you're going to buy something anyway, right? So fins up. Go Dolphins. Probably be on tomorrow. Definitely 10 a.m. Friday. Fins up. Go Dolphins.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won, for all things